Hello, you're very welcome to the first episode of the NFL show here on the Under Center podcast. Darrett, your host, delighted to be joined by the old gang for this week at least. We got none of the new school lads. Fionn, Rain, and Al, welcome back after taking a little bit of a hiatus because obviously the AFI does not concern you anymore. So you just could not give two shits. So you're like,
just call me when it's ball, Dan.
Yeah, call me when it's NFL season.
You just regurgitate the NFL network.
The problem is I have no knees, so.
The only thing he cares about is Seahawks water boys and who's got the best tackle percentage on the roster.
And what's the Seahawks water boy roster looking like, Al? I know you go into that level of detail in the offseason.
Oh, yeah. Real strong. I think we might make the Super Bowl this year.
It's a bit rough when Seahawks are the worst fans in the NFL and we've got three of them we have to listen to in the group chat room. Rob was giving us a breakdown of how great the defensive line is for the Seahawks. Not a single player he named I ever heard of.
It's true.
Well, look, listen, you know one at least, isn't it? Bobby Wagner's there now, so that's one.
No, he's with the Commanders.
Yeah, exactly. He's with your Commanders. So you know,
he's talking about the best defensive line and.
Currency is
also
Seahawks.
Bobby Wagner's not D-line.
No,
I didn't see it. I've given up listening.
and even better news: our best defensive lineman is now injured for 2 to 6 weeks.
Not Jimmy Trenton.
The best depth in the nation.
I think we could be a sneaky good D-line.
We could all be sneaky good before the first game is played out. We can all be sneaky good.
Yeah, exactly.
unless you are a Commanders fan, then you just know.
True. Yeah. I mean, or a Panthers fan. I mean,
I'm cautiously pessimistic.
Really cautiously.
That is a step up from your usual that you are through the year. You're just pessimistic as fuck all.
Downright depressed.
Yeah. A dog saved a child on a busy road. What the fuck was that dog doing there in the first place? Where's its owner? That's Fionn's response to anything.
Yeah.
You know? We have though some spicy takes. Is that what we're calling it now this week? Some spicy takes. We're going to show.
We'll see. It's week 0.
Yeah. Speaking of week 0, should mention the college game that was in the Aviva over the weekend. A shock win for Georgia Tech over Florida State with a last-second field goal to win it by 24 points to 24. Fantastic day, as always, in the Aviva. We got the weather for it, which is even better. The game was really, really competitive, unlike, obviously, last year where it was kind of one-sided, and by halftime the game was over. So sort of, fed into the atmosphere of people. And one huge thing as well is the game started earlier. And I think that helped the atmosphere as well, because it didn't start till 7:30 last year. And the fact that it started at 5 this year, I think was even better. So people it's still bright out. People have been out all day. And I know college game day and everything were there. People were at that too. But obviously all the bars were having their tailgates and stuff like that. And I think it aided for a really, really good atmosphere. Now, lads, I know Rian and Fionn, you didn't go. Al, were you there? Did you go?
No, couldn't make it this year.
How are you as football fans if you're not even going to a game when it's in your own area? And you had the chance to go. You had the chance to go for free as well.
Yeah,
that is true. I was just about to say, these things, they're expensive. You can't buy tickets to a game plus get married.
Do you want a free week? No, you don't get one.
Also, now you have to buy 2 tickets.
Do what most sensible people do and just buy a Haribo ring, get it over with, right?
Yeah. Next year, me and Fionn are going for free. We're getting on that TG car.
Yeah, we're getting on the interview train. We're going to go as media members.
Did you watch the TG car? Was any good?
I did actually. It was a pretty good broadcast that they had. They had a couple of familiar faces. Michael McQuaid was on there. We saw an interview from Kieran Kilkenny, a few of the rugby stars. So yeah, it was a pretty professional setup that they had, and hopefully we can get involved there next.
Yeah, I think so. For those who don't know, we went to an all-Irish primary school and secondary school, so we've definitely got the bit of Gaeilge. If we can get the practice going and get the vocabulary back up and running, probably been a few a few years since either of us spoke Irish, but look, fair play. Mika's had a lot of publicity over the last week, and fair dues to him. He works very hard. But look, we think realistically, we could contribute at least a little bit more in terms of the Irish language side of things. So, no, we are pretty serious about trying to give it a go next year. If we can, I'm sure it's just a matter of getting the right contact information and giving a bit of background on where we're coming from. So that's going to be cool.
That's it. And was that how it worked out? Was it the commentary of the game was English, and then like in between in the breaks, is that when they were sort of breaking it down and giving their analysis in Irish? Was it?
Yeah, exactly. So they had the classic American comms on from ESPN, and then just in the breaks and play, they kind of went down pitch side. They had two separate kind of media teams down there. They'd swap between the two, and it was a good setup that they had.
Excellent. Well, that's brilliant. Hopefully now next year we can see more of that again. Just remember, if you do get TG Car, remember where you came from, lads.
We're exclusive to
I'm wearing my
only a
Undercenter
licensing
podcast
deal
t-shirt.
I'll get merch made up just for that week.
Absolutely.
Just like a little nice polo, and then just on the collar can be like the Undercenter logo.
UCP,
you know. Yeah, UCP one side, the lineman of microphones on the other side. You know, product placement.
That's what that is. I was wondering why there was 5 microphones there. Amazing.
It took you what 2-3 years?
I swear to God, I had no idea why it was in a curve shape either. I was like, all right.
Come on.
You're a quarterback as well. You don't know
these other two guys here are here laughing at me. Oh, you silly boy! I bet they didn't know either.
Dara, did I or did I not help you design that logo? Was that not my suggestion to do the 5 mics like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'll give Fionn gets his flowers for that one. It was him. It absolutely was. But what else? Is there any other news there?
The 2 Irish boys haven't made any squads so far.
No.
Probably fairly predictably. We all knew that the reality is the reason that IPP is such a benefit to the teams is those guys do get kept on as an extra roster spot. Specifically, the advantage there is obviously on the practice squad, and we felt internally having our chats on our group socials that look, it's probably an advantage to be a kicker on the IPP because it's always a team's worst nightmare. So if they can keep you through the camp and in all of the regular season practices, the workload is, I can't imagine as a backup kicker, even your workload, like your rep count takes that much of a hit because you're so far off from the regular like requirements of a practice of another squad member. So I think it could be exciting. I would be surprised if the Saints they won't have much of a choice if he gets picked up in waivers, but I don't think the Saints will have any problem keeping Charlie Smith on, especially when they don't have another IPP prospect on the roster. I think that's the only time you might need to make a decision, but I'm hopeful both of the lads. I know I never remember his name. What's your man for the Giants?
McIntyre?
Jude McAtamy,
yeah. I imagine he'll go through.
Or is it McAdam? Yeah.
We'll have to get onto his reps
not sure how
to
it's
let us
pronounced.
know. Yeah. But I reckon the same.
He did get the IPP designation, so he is going to stay on their practice squad. But they didn't give that to Charlie with the Saints, which is interesting because
why not? Does the team have to?
I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe they're just waiting.
Them.
Maybe they're just waiting to see, or it's a bit of paperwork that didn't get published. My understanding was if you wanted players on the practice squad, you did have to release them all and sign them back.
Oh, you do.
You couldn't sign them to the practice. Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering, because maybe that the Saints aren't waiting for him to clear waivers, because if the Giants were able to do it with Jude and put the IPP designation on him to add him to the practice squad straight away without releasing him, that must mean the Saints don't want to do that at all with Charlie. So that means he's going to now, they could just wait for him, and maybe they don't want to put that IPP designation and just have him as a standard member of the practice squad, possibly. I was
thinking about this earlier. Is Efe Obada an IPP designated player? I don't know at this point because
No.
the Commanders
No,
should
not
definitely look at Charlie Smith because there's no way he's worse than the absolute shit show we have at kicker at the moment and have had for the last few years. I mean, I don't know why we traded what was it, a 4th round pick or a 3rd round pick?
No. It was a conditional. To be fair,
considering
York,
the Browns.
yeah.
But the Browns weren't even going to keep him. He wasn't even their starting kicker.
Yeah,
It's not
York
like
was
we
shite
took him.
last year
released
as
him
well.
last season.
Yeah.
And only picked him up as like a leg for practice. Insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be miserable having had
Trading
to deal with
for a
Joey
kicker
Sly
is-
all last year. Like,
Trading for a kicker is kind of wild, considering there's going to be about 20 of them on waivers now. So
I mean, it would be great. I'm going full if Charlie Smith gets signed by the Commanders. I'm going full kit, like Charlie Smith, everything. 100%.
What I would like to see, because I saw today the Packers released their kicker Anders Carlson. So pick up Charlie, Irish kicker, Irish punter.
Well,
Irish special teams unit.
Isn't Whelan still with the Packers?
Yeah, he's
And
the
Whelan's
punter
the
though. He's not a
punter.
kicker.
Yeah.
He's
He's
a
a punter. Sorry,
Yeah. So they have him. He's locked
Super
in.
surprising though. Who do they have a kicker now? The Green Bay Packers, because Anders
They'll
Carlson
probably
did well last season.
wheel in Max Crosby from his retirement home again or something like that.
Hold on, he wasn't even able to kick 20-yard field goals in his last season. The bloke, they had to wheel him out in a wheelchair. Like
I know.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Do that, man.
But anyway, look, we are going to look ahead and also look back a little bit from the preseason because thank God it's over. One of my big storylines from the preseason is fuck Wyatt Teller and fuck chop blocking on a preseason game. Like, why'd you fucking do that? What's the point?
Yeah. I will say I don't think he was trying to be dirty there and like that. He was just being fucking stupid, like cut blocking on that play. Just not thinking about it, diving straight into his knee. I think it was just more of a panic move rather than, just being a bit stupid.
Don't give him an out.
Some of these plays are designed like this with a genuine cut.
Well, yeah, no, that's probably what it was because
in the
like
design,
he was pulling on that play.
Yeah, guys on roster bubbles, they're gonna do anything to get a roster spot. The issue is not with the player doing it, and I hated this when it happened to Thibodeau last year. Issue's not with the player. The issue is with the rule. Just outlawed if it's such a dangerous block.
Yeah, 100%.
See, it's on the defensive side.
Yeah.
The NFL doesn't really care.
Both of those situations, I think it was just a bit panicky from one player or another. Teller was just a bit panicky. He was probably supposed to cut, but Uchenna went out wide in that, and then he just kind of dove into his knee. And then same with Thibodeau last year. It was just a mix up. Thibodeau didn't think he was going to be cutting, so he just kind of went to square him up, and then he dove right into his knee. So happens.
Yeah, I don't like it. I still don't like it anyway. Let's actually go in then. We'll move on. We'll get into our spicy takes, or lukewarm steaks, raw steaks, blue steaks, whichever way you have your steak. I don't mind. Fionn, you came up with this idea.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take a slightly warmer one, not such a spicy take to start off with. In my opinion, obviously we can all agree the preseason is basically worthless. Most of the time now, the ones don't even go against the ones. You get your ones on the offense going against their twos and the ones on defense going against the offense twos or threes or fours. So I think the Bears have doomed Caleb Williams. And I don't think it's a Justin Fields scenario. I do believe he's going to be a decent quarterback. He probably will set the rookie record that's not particularly high for the Bears. But I just think the Bears have overhyped this kid so high. Like, in my opinion, there is zero chance the Bears make the playoffs. And if you ask any Bears fan, they are almost guaranteed a playoff spot. I just don't see how that's going to happen. Obviously, rookie quarterbacks, they're talking about Keenan Allen is like getting old now, and the next best thing is Rome Odunze. And I think every season, right, you always look back at last season. They go, oh, well, look at Tank Dell and and what's his name on that? CJ Stroud on the text. It's like, this doesn't happen every year, lads. Just because you get a high draft pick receiver and a high draft pick quarterback doesn't mean you're going to make the playoffs. So that's my lukewarm take. I think mostly built by Bears fans, not even other fans around the league. I think there's no way Williams lives up to the level of hype they've given him.
I agree with this.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I think you're right for one main reason is Shane Waldron is their offensive coordinator now, and he's fucking pants. He's horrible. Absolutely no imagination. Really, really bad play caller. He's going to kill any chance that offense has of making any strides. And as well, you mentioned CJ Stroud and Tank Dell. They're exceptions to the rule.
Mm-hmm. I think the last time it happened, I was looking it up, and then I had kind of forgotten about Tank Dell and CJ Stroud, so it immediately jumped back like, oh yeah, it happened last year. I think the last time a rookie QB and a rookie wide receiver basically led the team, I think it was back like Ben Roethlisberger. And I don't even know who the wide receiver was, but that's the last time it happened. It's been a while since rookies just come in and completely overtake and revamp an offense.
Yeah, my trouble as well is with that wide receiver core. I mean, I think DJ Moore is an exceptional player. I've watched him more than most.
Forgot about him.
He's a true number one receiver, capable of going for 1,000+ yards, 10+ touchdowns on any given season. My trouble is with the rest of them. Keenan Allen has been a little bit injury prone. He is certainly getting older. And Rome Odunze, man, I don't know what anybody sees in that guy. Penix helped him out an awful lot in college, but he is the laziest route runner I've ever seen. You go back to CJ Stroud and Tank Dell, at least Tank Dell ran decent routes in college. Rome Odunze did not. He got wide open against piss poor defenses by just being bigger, physical, fast. And that's it. He's a terrible route runner. I don't see him going over 500 yards this season.
Yeah, I think the lack of reaction proves that it was maybe a warmer take than a hot take there. The fact we got no pushback on that one.
No, it's actually funny. I saw I don't know. I was listening to the new Dan Hansen podcast, the Heed the Call one there today, and they did their yearly slogan for each team, and they talked about the Bears, and one of them came up with the tagline that what is it? Just like 3 years ago, we're going to hype this guy up just like we did Justin Fields. Which kind of feels similar to what it was with Justin Fields. That the Bears have picked, are onto a fantastic pick here. No lose. It's going to be great. This is where the franchise turns around. And then Justin Fields did not good things. I can't speak English here.
Well, he might be literally about to assassinate Russell Wilson's career, but other than that, for the Bears,
Russell Wilson's doing a good job of that himself. Don't worry about that.
But yeah, I think the spiciest part of that take is probably that the Bears fans believe they're going to make the playoffs, and I just don't see how that's mathematically possible. I think they get maybe 3 or 4 games better. I think they maybe get out of the bottom 10, but I don't see how they make the playoffs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no.
Actually, that doesn't make sense. Can they even make it out of the bottom 10? Is there enough teams to do that? Yeah, there is, right? You can 16, be not in the bottom.
Yeah, no. Bottom 10.
14 teams make the playoffs, don't
they? No, 16.
Okay.
Isn't it? 16 teams make
because they expanded it.
14. 14.
It is 14.
3 wild cards, 4 division winners. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, look, I get what you're saying. I agree with you in that sense. I would like to think that the Bears are going to turn things around.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say there won't be an improvement. I just don't think they can reach the bar that the Bears have set for themselves. The Bears fans have set for themselves.
There are like Cowboys-esque fans going on at the moment in the Bears world talking about Super Bowl runs with the Bears at the moment. And that's just not
Every
where
fan
they
base
are
has
right
that.
now.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
No.
every fan base
Not
has
every
that.
fan
They
base.
think they're going to win
No,
the
they
Super
do
Bowl.
not.
Super Bowl. Yeah,
There's
No,
nobody
every fan
in
base.
the Commanders or
There's
the
no
Panthers
Panthers
think we're going to
fan
win.
just talking about Super Bowls. Zero
I
Panthers.
bet there's at
See,
least
they don't
one
know,
in
Rian,
each.
because they're Seahawks fans, and every single year, even with low prime Wilson, could be a Super Bowl run if we just let him cook.
I think the main thing with especially with rookie quarterbacks is you can't say anything until they play some games. The preseason doesn't count. The preseason just doesn't fucking count. Remember when Kenny Pickett had a perfect passer rate in over 3 games in the preseason?
Well, the Browns
How
went
did that turn
undefeated
out?
and then went
The Browns, and then they went 0-16. So you just have to see how it plays out over the year or the next 2 years. You know, it depends on how they're developed, the team around them more than anything. As we've seen so many quarterbacks with so much potential just be fucking destroyed by just having awful teams around them. So it's just got to give it time before you start talking about playoffs and Super Bowls. Give it 5 games and see how good they are, and then you can start talking about that, or giving up hope for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Let's move on. Rain, what's your first mildly spicy spice level to be determined take?
Yeah, I think I'll go with a Nando's medium here and say that it's going to be a little bit of a twofer, right? And maybe the second bit is a little more spicy than the first. But the first part of it is that the Chargers are going to implode this season. They're going to have a very poor season. They're going to be drafting in the top 10 picks next season. I might even say top 6 picks next season. And that's got nothing to do with Harbaugh. I have a really, really big respect for Harbaugh, but I think that team got worse this offseason. They had a lot of problems on O-line, and sure, they got Joe Alt in the first round of the NFL draft, but there was not just one issue on that O-line. The whole thing was terrible, and now they're really bad at wide receiver, having lost Keenan Allen as well. Mm-hmm. And here's the second part. I think they got worse in the backfield. I know they picked up J.K. Dobbins, but he's coming off a very, very bad injury. We don't know how that's going to affect him coming into this season. I think Austin Eckler was a good back, and I think the Commanders have a better running game off the back of getting him. Everybody's talking about Austin Eckler as if he's washed, he's slow, he cannot beat defenders. I didn't really see that last season. He got injured very early on and maybe lost a bit of his touch towards the end of the season, given that injury. But I still think he has it in him to have a big, big season with the Commanders. So it's going to be a twofer for me. It's going to be Commanders get better in the run game and Chargers get worse overall.
The only way I could push back on that is just that I believe in Herbert. I think he's good enough to keep them where they are. I 100% agree. Roster-wise, they absolutely good at themselves. I just think if there's any quarterback at the moment who's good enough to keep them, I'm not going to say get better. I 100% agree with it, but if keep them on and not abysmal, the only thing that's going to keep them out of a top 10 draft pick is going to be Justin Herbert. That's the only thing. And maybe Harbaugh. Although I got my issues with Harbaugh. I'm not so sure. I listened to a little bit of Rich Eisen. He's convinced, being an ex-Michigan man, that Harbaugh's going to come in and add 8+ wins to the Chargers just because that's what he did the last time he was in the NFL. Don't see how that's possible. But yeah, that's the only way, Rain, I can push back to give you a bit of to generate a bit of content is just to say, I reckon if anyone can do it, Herbert can just about keep the boat afloat. But yeah, 100% agree. They good at themselves for no obvious reason and didn't really do anything to try and get better.
Yeah. The Harbaugh thing is interesting. You know, we've seen with his Michigan teams, like, he just runs the ball. He'll run the ball.
Can't steal signs in the NFL either.
No, can't. That poor guy's getting all the blame, and Harbaugh just gets to go and become like the top paid fucking head coach in the league, and as if he did nothing wrong. I knew nothing what was going on here.
What?
Yeah,
What do
what?
you mean? Science? What? We don't use science in college football.
Yeah, I think the Chargers. See, the Chargers picked top 10 this season, and I think they're going to. I agree with Jareen. I think they're going to do it again next. But yeah, like, Justin Herbert's going to have to get used to knowing that feeling of just handing it off to J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards or whoever else they end up getting in and running into the ground. It's going to win them some games, obviously, because they're going to play the Raiders twice this year, so that's probably going to be 2 wins. And the Broncos
my argument
too.
would be I think the Raiders are going to finish ahead of them. Minshew magic. It's just going to happen. I can see that, the Broncos are piss poor, right? But I think it's between the Broncos and the Chargers for the last spot in that division. Genuinely.
I would agree. No, I think no, actually, no, I don't agree.
Because the Raiders are horrible.
Can we just take a minute to appreciate how bad that division has gotten? Like it was at one stage, everybody can put it up to the Chiefs. Now it's the Chiefs and some piss poor teams.
Yeah.
What was it? They were having a matchup, talking about the matchups of Herbert versus Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes versus Derek Carr. They were trying to poor NFL media trying to hype up Derek Carr so much. Jesus. But yeah, that just went down. That just tanked so much. But yeah, the Chargers, I don't know. They can't seem. They're turning into the Jets of the West. They just, whatever they're doing, it's not working. They just keep getting worse, and they keep trying to change everything and bring in this guy and bring in this hot college coach, bring in this quarterback who actually is playing well and is one of the top quarterbacks, but you're giving him Quentin Johnson to throw to this season, and that's it.
Who is statistically like a bottom 3 receiver.
Yeah, they'd be as well off bringing in Kadarius Toney to just fucking shore up.
He was just
released. He's caught a football before. Not many.
Tony was
but he's
released,
caught a couple.
so they could bring him in.
Could bring him in. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I wonder how it's going to go in terms of the relationship with Justin Herbert if it becomes as bad as Reen expects it to be this year. I know he has that big deal, but like if he's playing on a team and on an offense that runs the ball the majority of the time and hasn't given him the weapons at wide receiver or tight end or anything like that to throw to when he does throw, crazy things have happened and seeing like him asking for a trade out of there. It's not going to be Phillip Rivers where he's just going to have 20 kids and be happy to be wherever the Chargers are going next week. So I don't know. I just, I don't see it. I don't see that ending well this season unless things change. So interesting take. I like that. Al?
I don't know how spicy this is, but it's very much along the same lines. I think the Eagles... Hold on. Right.
Everyone's saying, I don't know how spicy this is. This was the like one job you all had was to think of spicy takes. And now you're
don't know where anybody stands, Dara. We're going to be able to do some spicy takes once we've literally seen a game of competitive football.
I'll be honest. I misunderstood the assignment. I thought we were just looking for things to talk about that we were interested in. I was spicy takes. Oh, fuck. I need to pick one off the top of my head.
Spicy takes are interesting. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
And also, are you looking for some structured, nuanced content on this show? That's not what we do now. We're throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks, so then we can
shouting
just go back
and
at
incorrect takes. That's what you get on this show.
Tune in for the worst takes you have ever heard.
I like this Mahomes guy. I think he's going to do some stuff.
Jackson definitely did do some stuff, Ari.
So, what's your non-spicy take, Al? Let's sit on the fence.
I think the Eagles are going to be the worst in their division. Because
that's a spicy take. That's a spicy take.
They have loads of talent, but
that is the spiciest take.
Because Daniel Jones is the quarterback of the New York Giants.
They have all that lovely talent, but then they've lost Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey, Yeah,
Who's
but
also
they were leaders to help with like the whole they've collapsed in the most spectacular fashion 2 years in a row.
Yeah, but
I think that
that's
locker
like
room
in the
is gonna suck.
playoffs, though, Al. Like it's
Yeah,
a
but
long stretch to go from collapsing into the playoffs to being
well, no,
last.
both
And I
years
know
it
of
was
all
before
the
the
divisions.
playoffs. Both years they lost all games leading up to the playoffs. They went 10-0 and then just lost all their fucking games, limped into the playoffs and got fucking smacked around.
Well, look,
And then
it,
Sirianni is completely over his head, obviously. So yeah, real spicy that they'd be last, but I don't see them being anywhere close to as competitive as they have been. They have the talent. I just think with locker room issues and Sirianni and losing some like big voices in the locker room,
you think it's going to turn
into and Hurts isn't as good as people say he is.
Al claims he stopped playing football like whatever amount of years ago it was, but he's clearly dealing with some CTE on this one. Like that's a piss poor division, man. They're going into. They're gonna win that easy fucking peasy. Saquon could win it by himself.
Yeah,
like if he can stay healthy.
That's true. That's very true. But also, like you're talking about the bodies that they lost. Like Fletcher Cox, was he really that big of an influence on that defense? Like if I'm thinking big influences on the
more
Eagles
leadership
defense,
role than actual, playing.
Still have Brandon Graham for that.
Brandon Graham is what I'm talking about. Exactly. He's that voice in the locker room that they need. And I'll be honest with you, I think Cam Jurgens is a good center, and the rest of the line has not gotten worse. It has probably gotten better. Mekhi Becton in there, he's playing better than he did with the Jets.
Preseason.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, yeah, look, they still have the best left tackle in the league, maybe one of the best right tackles in the league, and that team is set up to win that division. I can see an early playoff exit, but
I'm not. Look, here's the other thing as well. I'm the biggest Dak hater in the world, but he's a decent regular season quarterback. He just falls apart later.
Not this season, Fionn. Not this season.
Not season. You think he's gone?
No, this is the year.
He has no running back to fall back on. The corpse of Ezekiel Elliott. He's got to be
what are you talking about? They're getting
40 times a game.
Oh yeah, they're bringing Dalvin Cook in.
Cook,
the corpse of Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook.
Their backfield's going to have a combined age of 150. That's insane.
The other thing I was going to say is I'm not high on the Commanders this year, but my God, the Eagles would have to physically try to lose to that New York Giants team. That is an abysmal football team.
Remember the second
I just
half
don't
of the
think
last
that alone, I think that,
try.
that's the... I mean, it is the weirdest division in football at the moment. It makes out we've never had a repeat winner. It gets jumbled up every single year. Like 2 years ago, Commanders were like one of the best teams on paper, absolutely capitulated from week 2 onwards. I think we beat the Eagles and that was the last thing they did. So if there's any league that's set up where all 4 teams, no matter what state they're in, could beat any of the other 3 teams in the division, it's the NFC. So I'll give you that much of your hot take for sure. Definitely the spiciest one we've had so far this evening. I'll give you that much.
Yeah.
Dara, what have you got for us?
That was a good one. And also, listen, about the Fletcher Cox thing, just going back to it, you're also talking about having second year Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis as well.
Yeah. You talk about that like he was very good last year. He was all right. Like he's a rookie. I'm not sure
I'm not sure what I want to talk about the name that they've christened the white cornerbacks.
Oh yeah, and then their secondary suspect at best.
I'll message you about it. It's
okay.
I can't say on there.
Okay.
That's Cooper DeJean, isn't it?
Yeah, they have 2 white cornerbacks.
They have 2.
Yeah.
Didn't they trade for
getting smoked?
Yeah.
Right, Dara. What's your hottest take of the weekend?
Oh,
can't spell Chiefs.
Can't spell Chiefs either. I'm trying to type and listen to you guys ramble on. So it's kind of hard, My back is sore from carrying you guys all so fast, but we'll go on anyway. First one I have is the Jets are going to finish bottom of their division despite having Aaron Rodgers back.
That's not spicy at all. Like
Nah.
Jets
He's
are
got a lot
fucking
to prove.
awful.
Yeah.
We're fucking haters here, right? Of Aaron Rodgers and maybe the Jets as well, but they have a lot of talent on their roster. Anyway, go Dara.
No, I just look. Listen, they play the NFC West and the AFC South this year. Buffalo, Miami are still better than them.
Yeah, but Patriots are trash.
Patriots are trash, but I don't know. It just even
Have you seen
coaching
Drake
that they
preseason?
had. They have the same coaches they had last year, and they still have Nathaniel Hackett as calling plays on the offense. And you're asking a 40-year-old quarterback to come off a ruptured Achilles tendon and play to his MVP level of 4 or 5 years ago. Come on.
Can I just say, did anybody see like the video that they put up of him like dapping up all the guys coming off the pitch in one of the preseason games? Whichever Achilles it is that he hurt, I think it was his left Achilles. His left leg is like a fucking twig. The other leg is normal sized. He has healed that with herbs and ayahuasca and fucking sage.
Anything except a medical doctor.
Yeah, the dude is gonna go out there and get injured immediately again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The only thing he has is the inverse of what we were talking about before. He actually does have some sort of a running back room that he could just theoretically hand it off to. I don't mind the running back room they have. I know your man, the main guy's coming off a big injury. I forget his name right now this second, but
Breece Hall.
And I also like who's the other running back that featured strongly in the Hard Knocks last year?
Was that the rookie Abanikanda or something?
Abanikanda, yeah. I actually like him. He's got a lot of speed. He can break one if you get a nice offensive line going. So that's the only thing that I think will save Aaron Rodgers. I think they will be able to ease him into the offense, get him running, get him kind of playing from the pocket. I know that's kind of where he gets all his stardom from, is that like off the cuff, outside the pocket, manipulating defenses on the run, on the scramble. But I don't know. I think they're just about good enough to hold on. I do like their defense at the moment. Sauce Gardner, I think, has lived up. They gave him a lot of hype, and he didn't go supernova, but I think he did pretty well last season. I think he's on for another good season this season. So if they can get the right matchups, I think they have a chance.
He had a great rookie year. I don't know if his second year was as good.
Do we have to take account of the Hat Man, though, with Aaron Rodgers? Did you guys hear why he missed the mandatory minicamp?
Yeah, because
there was a shadowy figure following him around, and he needed to go to Peru to do ayahuasca about it. And that's apparently a thing. Like the Hat Man is the shadowy figure.
Is that the same guy Zach Wilson was seeing, like running across the pitch, that he was seeing ghosts?
The MetLife ghosts.
Could be the same guy, the MetLife Spookies.
Yeah, the ghosts of like quarterbacks past of the Jets anyway, and failed Jets.
Joe Namath just flashing himself in the middle of the pitch. Like.
I had a quick look at the depth chart there while you were talking to the Jets, and certain Tyrod Taylor is back up there now in New York. He just loves New York.
They should start Tyrod Taylor.
Familiar.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor's a beast. Tyrod Taylor's a beast, and he got done bad by that guy who stabbed him in the chest with a needle for no reason. He would have been a superstar.
Oh, collapsed his lung. Yeah,
collapsed his lung, like his big moment. Yeah. He's like, bang.
That's why Aaron Rodgers likes him. He hates needles now too.
He only takes painkillers in drug form.
Do we think Hassan Reddick starts the season with the Jets?
No, I think he's.
Can we just
no?
Can we talk about it a little bit in terms of like contract holdouts? I fucking hate them. You signed a contract that says you are committing to play for X amount of years. Why are you saying I'm not going to play the last one unless he's give me a bigger contract? You signed it. Don't be a dummy. Give yourself the contract that you want. You're like, oh, well, I'm getting paid unfairly. You fucking signed it, man.
The only pushback I have for you. The only pushback I have for you, Ryan, is the power that the clubs have. Like, they could sign a 5-year contract and cut you after 2 and just be like, okay, they have to pay your guaranteed money, but they were like, you can't argue to them. But you said I could play for you for 5 years. They're like, I don't give a shit. You're cool. So I guess that's there. Where like I don't give a shit what I thought I was worth 3 years ago. I'll either sit here and do nothing, and you're gonna have to pay me the money anyway, or not. So, but I get you. I'm with you. I think the holdouts are silly. I mean, these guys are like the money now is just getting astronomical in the NFL. It just makes no sense anymore.
The way the market is now, one quarterback and one wide receiver can take up 30% of a team's cap. That is fucking insane.
Even worse than that. It used to be you had to be like Pro Bowler, All-Star, like NFL superstar, MVP, Super Bowl winner. Now, the next starting quarterback that has their contract up for renewal is basically reset.
Just look at the top, search the top 5 paid quarterbacks right now. It's a bonkers
He's going to ask for it. He's going to ask. Like, next year he comes up, and I guarantee Geno Smith's going to ask for 45 million quid a year.
Oh, Geno's
Don't
already
sleep on Geno this year.
39-year-old Geno Smith, who couldn't throw the ball with his sphincter, is going to ask for 45 million quid.
Oh, it only took one show for sphincter to come back. Nice.
That's going to happen. The NFL is back, baby.
Like that. We have 15 minutes left. Does anybody else want to put out a spicy take out there?
Yeah, it's not so much a spicy take, but it's the Saints are in as bad a boat as any other NFL roster I've ever seen. I was having a look at their wide receivers. I was watching Charlie Smith there his third quarter, and they were talking about battling for like receivers on the bubble, battling for the third slot. And I was like, oh, who are the first two guys? Like after Olave, there is nobody. And I mean, no, like Equiminius St. Brown is like, who?
Mm-hmm. Rashid Shaheed.
Oh, is this like
I watch a lot of NFC South. He's a speedster.
Brandon Atwell, like who? And everyone else in the NFL knows who he is, and I've never heard of him. Like, is it one of those moments, or is this a guy that only Rian knows?
He's probably one of them that when you're watching Red Zone and a Saints touchdown pops up, and he just randomly, it's just a random name that I'm sure they put into like a simulator. So yeah, that's an NFL wide receiver name. That
have you seen the college football randomly generated names?
Bernie Sanders and fucking
like Adolf Hitler and all this stuff. Like
it's like that Key and Peele
crazy out there.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking at the depth chart for Rashid Shaheed is wide receiver 2.
You guys are gonna know his name though this season with the new kickoff rules. He's blistering that dude.
But isn't that I saw the clip of their last preseason game, and it was Puka Nakua's brother Samson that actually had almost like 109-yard return.
That wasn't a kickoff. That was on a
punt return.
Oh, that was a field goal attempt.
It was a field goal attempt that came up short.
That's right. Yeah.
I think it's a bit embarrassing. That was like a DM that caught him right at the end, like on the diagonal as well. I feel like I know he ran about 120 yards, but like
he's like a hybrid safety linebacker type of dude.
Okay, he's not a wide receiver. Puka. Okay, my bad.
He's not Puka.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Well, the other thing about the Saints is
maybe I'm thinking of the other Nakua brother. Because
there's a whole bunch
in the
of them
UFL last season.
Right.
But yeah, the other problem with the Saints is I think my Cliff senses are tingling, and I think Derek Carr, if he wasn't gone last season, he's gone this season. I wouldn't be surprised if Spencer Rattler plays a considerable amount of games this season for the New Orleans Saints.
I wouldn't be surprised if they named him starter.
Oh, really?
From week 1.
No, I don't think there's any chance of that. He was in a battle just to be.
Too much money tied up in Derek Carr. They've too much money tied up.
He's just so bad. Like, do you want to win games? Do you want to win games? Like, you know,
he's a beige Kirk Cousins, and that's saying something.
He's Kirk Cousins if he couldn't play football.
He's Kirk Cousins' cousin.
We got a bit of mild breaking news in terms of spiciness. There's a trade between the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Tight end Peyton Hendershot.
Who?
Peyton Hendershot. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So he's gone from the Cowboys to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
What's he going for? Fifth?
A late
Oh,
round
it's like a
conditional pick.
7.
Okay.
Conditional 7th.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you make these trades after the rosters
A
have been set, it's a bit like,
2026 conditional 7.
oh, they're skipping a year.
Can I just
Well,
say
the Cowboys
that,
are kind of
he
set there. They
played-
Jake
he
Ferguson
played
did
some
well
snaps last season, and he was pretty good. Like he's got receiving chops about him. He's got a bit of blocking chops about him. I like him.
Yeah. Well, he's not bad. He's not bad. He popped up with the odd touchdown, which kind of infuriated me because Jake Ferguson was on my fantasy team last year, and
they brought him in for red zone.
Bringing him in for like a red zone touchdown, where where's Jake? That's all I want to know.
Can we also talk about how the Rams traded their best linebacker to the Titans for a 6th round pick?
What are you complaining about, Al? You're going to need that if you have any hope of beating the Rams this season.
No, it's just
Seahawks
like
are not
why
anything.
like surely they could have got more because he's like a legitimately good linebacker. It's not like he's kind of good. Like he's a real good linebacker. Contract year be like
contract.
No,
that's what it is.
Rams are over. Like they
how much
can't
are linebackers
making
making
basically.
What? How much are
linebacker market is going the way of the safety market?
Oh, I know. Actually, speaking of, because we were only talking about them, I remember one of the one of the Saints players, linebacker, only got a new contract there, recently, and I think it was
Nawasu Koromoa.
No, that was the Bears.
No, that's Browns.
That was Bears. Or that was Browns.
Right, he got extended.
Pete Werner got like a 3-year, $22.5 million.
Yeah, Roquan Smith is on $20 million a year for linebackers, and Fred Warner is on 19. Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah,
on
but
18.
Fred Warner is worth it because he's a fucking freak.
The only there's a whole bunch of them on around 10 million. That's about where the linebacker market is.
Yeah, so that's
right. Okay,
and it's 3 years, 10 million a year.
Right. That's not bad. I'm actually trying to look it up now myself, but I hate this outside linebacker who is actually kind of an edge rusher sort of difference that they don't put into things. Because I'm looking at top.
I don't know why they don't just say off-ball linebacker or edge.
Yeah,
it's so much easier to understand then. Because we signed an outside linebacker, except he weighs 268 pounds and is actually an edge player.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
I was looking
him
through
play the hook curl.
Yeah. I was looking through the predicted roster for the Panthers, and I got through the DL, and I was like, "What the fuck? No Jadeveon Clowney?" And I was like, "No, outside linebacker." Oh, okay.
Are they playing the 340s here, Rin?
I haven't a clue. I think they are. Yeah.
Although Clowney is athletic enough to do that when he's healthy.
I guess. So yeah. It's been a while.
Maybe 10 years ago he was. Yeah.
I don't know. If you get someone fast on the outside, you think Jadeveon Clowney catching him?
If he's holding a burger in his back pocket, he is.
Well, I remember
like as like somewhat decent, you could say Clowney's career has been. Like he was a number 1 overall pick, wasn't he?
Yeah,
like he just
at least got 3.
Number 1 or 2.
Yeah, he talk about a player that lived off 1 tackle in college.
Yeah,
and that was just
yeah,
that you live off 1 tackle.
That's a perfect way. That's just how scouting works in the NFL. Oh, he made that one big play, 1st round pick.
If that's the case, then Texans should have been shot to the moon years ago. If that's how they scout, whoever scouts now is obviously doing a good job. They got fucking Tank Dell and CJ Stroud last year and Will Anderson. So
Texans
they obviously know what they're doing.
They're going to be a decent squad, whether they make the same height or not. They're now a decent squad. Now they've just got to build from there, for sure.
Yeah,
and that's definitely.
They got an okay division as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're well set to be competitive for a long time.
And barring those white ones, their unis are one of the best in the league.
Whoa, can't talk about people that way. Sorry.
The whites.
Rain, give him a pass. He's been out of podcast game for half a year now at this stage.
Daniel's cancelled on his first.
Can I be
Show
honest? Though?
out.
I genuinely think bringing in Stephon Diggs to that organization was the wrong move. It was the wrong move. I mean, he's an okay receiver, passed it a little bit, but he seems to be one of the most argumentative little bollockses in the league. And he just brings bad energy wherever he goes. You saw him
that one season with the Vikings has really carried him the past 5 years.
One moment. Come on.
No, but in fairness, like I think he has played well. He had some monster games for the Bills, but I agree with Reed. It's a bit like Dez Bryant style. There's too much now stories of, even if it's not rows or stuff, it's just being difficult. He's not a galvanizer, and now at his age, he needs to be like that experienced old head in the dressing room, and he just never seems to have that reputation. He's been in too many zones now, too many outfits and organizations. Like, to have that rep, it must be true. It must be based on something.
Speaking of moany wide receivers, how long until Devontae Adams starts talking about how unhappy he is with the Raiders? I would give it like 2 weeks.
Last year.
Yeah. 2 weeks. He's already started talking, but he has no fucking room to talk because he wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Everyone else
is Derek Carr and went, yes.
That's my guy. He was classed at Fresno. He's going to be classed in Las Vegas.
Just one of the many reasons you should never listen to an NFL player about evaluating talent, because they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. For the most part.
Maybe Derek Carr like hypnotized him with his weird like black eyelashes things, and he was like, "You will come and play with me." Not that he could even throw the ball far enough to get to him, but there you go.
Or maybe he just cried down the phone.
Please,
so
just
play.
Maybe the Raiders were like, all our wide receivers are in jail. You could definitely get some playing time for us.
Yeah. Did you see the video of that kid who was getting interviewed like at a Raiders event thing? He's only like probably 10 or something like that, and the news reporter just goes, "Oh, I see you have a Raiders fan here." He goes, "So what? You looking forward to the season?" "We're not going to the Super Bowl." He goes, "Oh yeah, okay, we have an honest Raiders fan. So, you know, okay, if you're not going to make it to the Super Bowl, what's a successful season for the Raiders?" And no joke, he said, "As long as no one gets arrested." Like a kid of 10 or 11 who's a Raiders fan, knowing a successful season is nobody getting arrested is just beautiful.
Yep.
And who's their first round pick this year? That he's
guaranteed a
pick. Oh, it was Brock Bowers, isn't it?
Brock Bowers,
Bowers.
Yeah.
If Brock Bowers is semi-successful, then it will be a good season. But their last 10 years of first round picks is probably the worst stretch in NFL history.
Yeah, look at last year's one. Tyree Wilson. I think there was a few rumors he wasn't even going to make the team this year.
Yeah, horrible.
But like, and I know probably talked about it when the draft was made, but you know they got Brock Bowers in, but they only drafted like one of the top tight ends in Michael Mayer the year before. So. Like, unless you want to go with the old Patriots way of like Hernandez and Gronk and try and replicate that.
I think they do. To be honest, I think they do a little bit like, didn't the Titans go with kind of a double tight end, or maybe the Patriots last season were also trying to go with a double tight end. They got a couple of catching tight ends in at the same time.
Oh, they got like Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry.
The Patriots flipped it around though. They were like, Jonnu Smith had a nice receiving season for the Titans. Let's bring in Mike Gesicki as well and make them blockers. Yeah.
Pretty this Gesicki. Get on the line,
people.
It's the same
thing with Cam
Newton.
They clearly would never make it as
one of the best running quarterbacks in NFL history. Let's make him a pocket passer. Hell yeah.
I think they should make Colin Kaepernick the USA flag football quarterback for the Olympics. I think that'll only be fair, just to say sorry for blackballing.
Then you're going to piss off the current quarterback.
Yeah, but who's he? Not as whingy as Kaepernick, that's for sure.
He actually thinks he's better than Mahomes.
Yeah, I saw that. He legitimately thinks he's better than Mahomes.
At flag football, though, lads, it is a different sport.
No,
And it
he
is
illegal. Yeah,
believes,
absolutely.
he believes he could
Fionn,
step
Like,
come
who
on
gives
the
a shit
NFL.
if
Rugby
like, Patrick
sevens
Mahomes-
and rugby.
Yeah, but part of Mahomes' talent has been able to launch the ball 97 yards. Doesn't matter when the pitch is only 50 yards long.
It
You
is-
know what I mean? Like,
Like nobody's like, oh yeah, Mahomes' top talent is his cannon of an arm. It's not. It's the arm angles. It's the
behind the back
improvisation,
pass.
all this sort of stuff that really translates well to
Has he
flag
got the
football.
knee flexibility? He dislocated it by accident, remember? It's all about the ducking and the
Mahomes.
diving when you're
I don't
salsa
think he's going to be
salsa
doing much
dancing.
of that, to be honest. He's
But you
just going
can't
to
trust
find.
people in flag.
He's just going
But
to
then, like-
find Tyreek Hill on a go route.
Oh, well, so okay. Very quickly, then, if you are picking the USA flag team right now,
Yeah.
who's the starting five?
Taysom Hill.
Peterson.
Of course, yeah, of course. Run the ball.
Quentin Johnston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Gore
Great for pass
Sr.
breakups.
The two Diggs brothers.
Yeah. Oh, he's back this year, isn't he? Yeah.
Then I think you have to put Zeke in there, just on defense.
I'm sure he can get
But
marked
Lindsay-
on
No,
this.
he's
Running around like a
Snapper,
head,
Fionn.
he can go like this.
Fionn,
Let
center,
lifting every
come
play.
on. It's right
Center,
there.
yeah. And he could even probably wear his like half t-shirt in the flag football. They
Yeah.
kind of let them do a bit more swag, a bit more swaggy in the flag football.
You joke about it, but like that team would probably win gold also.
Yeah.
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 And like
Yeah, well, the
you
rest
said,
of the league, the rest
you
of the
said
world is
Zeke
sending
there.
a farmer. Like, in fairness,
you said Zeke there. I guarantee he's better than the flag football running back. Guaranteed.
But that's-
Yeah, like the worst players in the NFL are better than any player.
I don't know, because it's
Like,
about how
outside.
elusive your hips are, not about like.
Well,
Our,
not any player, but
They were talking about a few years ago, the flag football team beat a group of NFL stars, and it was Chad Ochocinco and a bunch of nobodies you've never fucking heard of before. Like, this was Chad Ochocinco as well when he was 35.
unguardable. Yeah.
Yeah. So
isn't
I
he
just
like
don't see it.
in his
I don't see
50s
it.
now?
well, then he was like 45.
Dara, we seem to have a lot of people in the chat waving at us. Have you got some sort of secret prize to be handing out or something that has all this attention?
I do. We were going to give out a copy of Madden. I don't think I will now because I know that is all from the same person. That's Keith Dawson getting his whole family to do it.
This is about the
Yeah, but
Dawsons.
there's 43 people watching us. That's some record-breaking numbers. I don't know how many family members
I can
Keith
respect the
Dawson has,
commitments.
but I hope it's not 43.
I can respect the commitments.
That's going to be a fix now if I have to give that up.
Yeah.
But do we have? Well, yeah, it's 8:30 now.
Yep.
Do we have
Are you
anything
gonna
else to discuss? We picked our gold medal winning flag team for LA 28.
Tell us yours in the comments. Like and subscribe.
Fionn's doing his what's that called?
My
Ad read.
call to action.
Ad read.
Call to action.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll call it a day there, lads. It's been a show.
It has.
It certainly
Been a show.
was.
It's been a show.
Spicy one.
Yeah.
Tune in next week to see if we make it
Wow.
any more spicy.
Well, look, listen. You're not going to be spending the night on the Jacks after having this spicy takes now.
Sounds like though in the chat, Alex Sims is ready to get spicy, and I'm looking forward to seeing his hot takes and him clowning the Seahawks week in, week out as a 49ers fan. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh,
Especially for me and Ring, because we have nothing to cheer about this season. So your downfall is going to have to be the main one.
I like the admission of guilt, Keith. Thank you for that.
Guilt.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Can respect the commitment though. You know, really trying to.
Really wants that game of Madden. That's where he really wants that game of Madden.
Why though? It's so bad.
Don't tell him it's last year's.
Right.
Don't tell him it's last year's one with the sticker over it.
They're giving us copies to give away. We can't be bad mouthing it. It's the best one since
the best one
sorry.
yet.
Yeah.
The best one they've released this year, I'll tell you that much.
College
Best
game went
NFL
very
game.
well.
Best NFL game.
Yeah, you saved yourself. You saved
It
yourself.
definitely hasn't been exactly the same game release for the last 15
The
years.
Irish stickers are on it. So
I heard if you play for the Raiders in this one, you can get a DUI.
The open world aspect of this game has gotten really out of hand here.
Manager mode.
Really,
You've had the forfeit.
really trying to be
week one.
realistic.
Half your offensive line is in jail.
Your wide receiver brought a gun to practice.
You need to bail out half the practice squad. Do you up the price of hot dogs or colas to pay it off the debt? Remember one of the Maddens had that where you had to set the price of all the food and everything.
Yeah,
That
that was
great.
mad.
Bring back that.
You have an important game upcoming, but your girlfriend is playing a concert in Japan and wants you to go. What do you do?
Speed.
Your head coach
Or
has been
you take
fired
option C
because
and just sit and do a podcast with your brother.
your head coach has been fired because he sent some racist emails.
Do you A, defend him, or B, say nothing?
To the owner of the racist franchise, which is a disaster of a PR move. But anyway.
Right, this is officially now out of hand. Yeah, it's officially out of hand. Maybe check back in next week to see if we're allowed back on the air after that. I don't know. We'll probably get our channel blocked or something like that, just because not because of anything we said, just because Fion's been on air too long and we can't stand to look at him that long.
2 weeks.
It's great talking NFL again, or whatever we did there for the last hour. Hopefully I'll see you back next week, or we might have a new crew, might have a new roster. We'll keep it fresh. Add some people up from the practice squad, drop some people, bring them back, let them clear waivers and then come back in again. We'll see how it goes. We have a long season ahead of us to talk about everything happening, football, and God knows we need something to entertain ourselves. Thank you very much, Fionn, for making that full screen. I really appreciate you there laughing in the background. Thank you so much.
I thought you were going to do your big sign off, man.
I don't need a full screen to do a sign off. Nobody needs to see the full screen of this. That's even better. That's even worse.
Go on, wrap this thing. Let's go.
Al, please go there instead. We need the looks here. You're the ones that sells it first, even though you're trying to get our Madden connection done. Anyway, that's the end of the show. Follow us on the socials at UndercenterPod on Twitter and on Instagram. If you haven't already, like this video on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. We are going to continue on the competition for the rest of this evening. So if you are only getting around to watch it now, head over to the YouTube comments. Just let us know what console you are looking for on it. And you never know, you might be winning a copy of the new Madden game, which Al absolutely loves and would not trade it for any other game at all.
No. Anything bad I might have said, I take it all back.
He was talking about
Al, you're done. You're done. I can't risk it anymore with him. Reid and Fionn, thank you. I appreciate the time. Al, wherever you're gone, maybe you're back from the void next week. But until next time, stay safe and we'll see you soon.